Music on.
Now we're on. You got the mics on? We're trying something new tonight.
Yes.
You see I'm not hooked up to the laptop, we're trying something new tonight.
Okay, all right. Well, I got this on, everybody got the thing on? So, 1800, let's, call service to order. Do a roll call.
Cosgrave.
Present.
Foreman, not here.
Excuse, I guess.
Shopper?
President?
Also in attendance, we've got, village, or no, yeah, VA, he's here. Matt Nizer, we got, Deb Schaffner, oh, she's president now. Ron Goodler, fiscal officer, we got the chief of police, Brett Rogers, Darla Reedy, Garth Phillips, and Brady McCurry, council. Can I get an approval of the minutes from the 20?
He can't lack a
I
quorum.
wasn't here, so.
No, that's right, yeah, so we'll have to wait till next meeting, so we can have a quorum to approve for minutes. Did you read them over, have any questions or anything, Bill?
No, I mean, no, I don't have any questions.
Guess we can go to visitors, do we have any visitors that wanna address the?
I don't think so.
Alright, so goals. We have recently put new goals for replacing the water lines on, but other than that, the 5-year plan for streets, water, treatment plant, the wastewater treatment plant, and, getting the I&I up to EPA specs is already on there. And we're gonna continue with all of that. So, council's already agreed to allow the village administrator to apply for loans for water distribution, and goes along with the water treatment plant, as well as looking into getting new wells for the water treatment plant. Streets, we've already done a lot of paving, and we've got some projects still for paving, like with Tremont and all that stuff's going on currently.
Tremont's finished.
It's finished, okay. And wastewater treatment plant, I know that Eli had some stuff going on there with the gates and all that stuff.
Yes. So gates will be in more than likely next week. That's what we've been told. Regarding the EPA plan, they approve a 5-year plan. We still have not heard back from them. That's almost 2.5 months, but I think it's one of those things because we've been proactive, we get put to a back burner, and communities that aren't being proactive get the attention.
Okay.
So we're just waiting to hear back from them on that. It's kind of a negotiated process.
Right.
So we've already submitted our second round of negotiations with them, and we're just waiting to hear back from them.
So
And
that-
so there's no real timeline as to when they'll get back to us.
So we're pretty much on track with streets, with the water plant, with the wastewater treatment plant.
Yes.
Which rolls into I&I, so everything that we have going on.
Yes.
On the goals, we're pretty much on track with. Does anybody have any questions on that stuff?
No, I don't have a question. You mentioned something about the well rehab loan.
Yeah.
Okay, was submitted, and they had questions. We were told basically that they were concerned with I had to fill out a worksheet on the revenues and expenses for the next 40 years. Don't tell me how I did that. But anyway, they were kind of concerned that the first 5 years when we because the repayment of the planning portion of the loan starts next year, and I never filled one of these out before, so I just filled it out, and I had to put those numbers. And they were concerned because we went negative. So the question became, we weren't going to get funded for this. So I had to call the EPA and explain to them that's not how we don't increase our sewer debt, water debt by 3% each year. And I said, we charge a flat fee a month. They didn't understand that. So I had to explain to them how we do things here, where we charge a flat rate a month to retire our debt.
Yes.
Currently $11.50 for this year.
Okay.
The repayment on that loan starts next year, if we get there. I alleviated the that's just the planning one.
That's not, that doesn't do the well.
No.
That's not.
But once that gets rolled over,
But once that
well-
gets rolled over, it'll be incorporated into the, but what I'm saying is, they were adamant about not funding this until I got with them to assure them that their debt payment was gonna be made, because I just have to have council, you guys will have to take action, to raise it, starting next year,
The debt service.
the debt service, as of January one, $8.50 to $20 a month. Just to pay off the planning one, which is 5 years.
Okay.
but again, once it goes from planning to design, a design loan, and then if we construct the well, then that gets rolled over into a construction loan. That's not in 5 years, it's like a 20
20 years.
a 20-year loan, so.
Something similar to OW, it's through, funded through OWDA.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the short term, we have to convince the residents that they're gonna have to endure a little bit more pain every month
Mhm.
paying that bill.
Yes.
In order to get to the long term, which is, we're gonna have 2 new wells, we're gonna have water distribution that's gonna be sound for the next generation. And then we're gonna have to borrow a lot of money to put the water distribution infrastructure into,
Mm-hmm.
which is gonna be another,
I'll have to calculate that when the time comes, but
okay.
as of right now, I'm letting you know, we'll have to, they're gonna make us pass some kind of an ordinance increasing the debt charge for the water, just the water, not the
Right.
sewer. And I calculated the $8.50.
So is there any way to do that slowly, instead of whoop, there it is?
I don't think so.
A dollar.
I don't think so. I think I understand what Brian's saying is kinda pretty much,
I mean,
all or
they're
nothing.
adamant, if we get this, we're gonna start paying it back next year.
Yeah.
It's $146,000 a year for the next 5 years in 2 installments. And the only way we can do that is to increase the debt charge.
yeah, it's all or nothing.
Otherwise, they're not gonna fund us.
Got it.
Yeah. That's a tough spot.
Yeah. I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
I mean, you have, thank you.
Appreciate you.
Oh, okay, sorry, my computer's a little glitchy. All right, so that's gonna be a hard sell the next couple of years, looking at,
Well,
It's not a sell,
when
it's
you
gonna
start
happen.
talking about doing these kind of projects, they don't give you free money.
no, there's no such thing as a free lunch, I'm quite aware of that.
In fact, they were gonna apply for, who's our congressman? Balderson's?
Balderson's, yeah.
He was gonna try to get a grant through them, but it's a 20% match. They wanted to know if we could come up with $1.1 million in the next 12 months to pay our share. of the
Yeah,
cost.
what village of, 3,000 people can do that when they have 3,000, or $3 million budget to pay annually?
So,
Come up like a million, like
so
a
I
third
think,
of their budget.
I don't think we're gonna go for that one.
Right. Wow, okay.
So they're still working for some other funding alternatives. I will say if it was a city, it'd be a different story.
Right. All right, well. I guess we'll move on toward, well, for I&I, we've got, that goes along with the wastewater treatment plant thing,
Yeah.
what we're talking about.
Right.
The meters that we bought, that were getting put in place in order to monitor the overflow rates and all that sort of stuff in the water, cause I know, Mr. Rick was really concerned about, how much water we produce versus how much water gets billed,
Yeah.
and there's a big gap in that.
So we replaced, a meter that was not working at Greif. And then, they placed a meter at the pool. We believe we're losing a lot more water at the pool than what we suspected due to a leak.
Yeah,
Those are the only 2 meters that have been, all gets counted into that.
Okay.
So the flushing happened, the hydrant flushing started today, that was probably 250,000 gallons just today.
And it'll continue.
And that'll continue over the next few days.
All right,
I guess my point is, until those sources get metered, it's always gonna be a bit of an estimate as to what's going on there.
but we need to really worry about fixing those leaks in the distribution network,
Sure.
because that's falling into the, you know,
Yes.
the INI, and
Yes.
that goes to the plant ultimately, and then
Yep.
that's the problem with that, so.
Yep.
All right, we'll go to reports, I guess, the village departments.
Yeah, just,
Anything?
just a couple of highlights with village departments. Service department, I got a list of projects that they've been working on over the last month at your seat, distributed tonight. The gravel lot behind, between the two softball diamonds at Johnson Park, that gravel lot has been paved, and a little path paved over to Gordon Avenue as well. Under new business tonight, we can talk about a traffic pattern change there. Tremont Drive has been repaved, the pool was repainted today. They'll get the swimming lanes painted tomorrow, and then hopefully, begin filling the pool next week. In the water department, hydrant flushing began today. If you wanna see just some of the goodies that get flushed, these deposits that come out of the hydrants, kinda what's in the line and why we do the flushing. We're continuing, the water department, we're continuing work to secure the loans for the new well, as well as the water main replacement, the 4-inch lines that we've identified. We're working with V3 on that. Water treatment plant, or wastewater treatment plant, we identified that the wastewater treatment plant has a leak in the roof, and we got a quote to replace that roof for $19,000, and that'll be a fix for decades in the future. So we're moving forward with replacing the roof there at the wastewater treatment plant. Already stated, our new gates are expected next week. We won't install those right away. We'll wait till a more dry time of the year, probably sometime closer to July to install those. As far as office work, Interface Video, Josh Messerly from Interface Video, we've been working with them to help us with our streaming issues and audio issues. They're working on a new streaming system, rather than streaming through Zoom, which is really intended to be more one-on-one office meeting, not big group gathering kind of stuff, with a new system that is more in line with that kind of a format. Our urban forestry grant, tree removal through Russell Tree Experts begins this week, Wednesday. They're gonna send 2 crews into town and hopefully have it done by Friday. That's about 33, possibly 30, between 39 trees potentially, being removed that are dead or diseased. So other than that, I don't know that, other than what's on my report that you can read, or we can cover it if council don't have anything else to say. Unless there's questions.
On top of what you just said about urban forestry, that's a grant we got from the federal government. Of course, it's a reimbursement grant, so we have to pay for the money, we have to pay for it if we get reimbursed. Remember last year I had to give advance money to that fund, that paid for the work that was done last year, we got reimbursed for that. But the 2 upcoming projects, there's not enough money in that fund to cover this, so I may ask council to advance more money to that fund until we get fully reimbursed for everything, and then pay that money, all everything back at once. That's
Do you have a ballpark number?
What
There's
was the
$6,000
inventory?
in that fund right now. The first contract was what?
I think the first contract for the inventory was close to 8 or 9,000. So we're talking about the rest, which was a total of 40,000.
So,
An advance is just a short-term loan. It's not a permanent transfer.
right,
Just to pay those bills, you don't pay it out, you pay it out upfront. And then once we get reimbursed by the federal government, I move that money, once we get it back to you, and pay back the general fund.
alright. Is there a timeline on that process?
Yeah, so the project was supposed to be finished by June
Of this year.
of this year. Given some of the stuff that was happening at the federal level, we requested an extension.
Okay.
So we have June, July, end of August to complete that, but it's kind of a strike while the iron's hot in the sense that there are crews that are ready right now to
Yeah,
do
yeah.
the removal.
Right.
And, we have not signed anything with the planting, but that we're getting, reached out to the urban forestry guy that's overseeing this to get permission to go ahead and move forward with the planting as well. So hopefully within the next week, we'll sign a contract with Oakland Nursery to provide the planting.
I haven't figured out how much we need to, advance, I don't wanna say transfer.
Right,
Transfer's
yeah.
program, advance, that fund, yeah, I'll have to come up with those numbers.
But in your opinion, it's doable?
It's doable, yes.
Okay, alright, I'm
It's
not worried
doable,
about that.
and then once we get reimbursed, I'll just pay the money back. I've
Right,
already
right,
paid the
right.
pool back,
Right,
cause we got reimbursed earlier this year for everything we did last year with the pool grant. I paid that back to the general fund, so.
good.
But we might have to do this again for,
Okay. But there are advances and it can be reimbursed.
yeah.
Were you talking about the park?
No, we're talking about trees.
Trees.
Oh.
So, Parks and Rec Board, I guess, we wanna wait till new business for the whole like paving stuff, so that, setting the, new business aside, anything else for Parks and Rec, from Parks and Rec to the committee?
Not at this time.
Okay, we could go to the Baltimore Downtown Restoration Committee. Randy, do you have any inputs?
Yes, so I wanted to kind of explain, this year we will not be, I guess you would say sponsoring the farmer's market that's recent in the past few weeks essentially. So, we had an insurance, we did an analysis of our insurance and it was determined that we really need our vendors to carry us on their insurance certificates. Okay, so, we did a survey. We knew that we needed a certain percentage of the vendors to say yes, they would be willing to do so. We didn't have the reception in terms of vendors that we were hoping for that said that they were in favor of carrying that insurance. The other problem was we really needed most of those vendors to be produce vendors. That's what a farmer's market is about. We don't want it to become a flea market. So with that, we have basically put the market on hold for a year. Next year, that's not been determined yet what will happen. We did meet with a couple of gentlemen from Fairfield Fish and Game. And in my opinion, that would be a great setting. There's shade and other reasons, but I haven't heard anything back, so.
I looked into their insurance and.
Same
They
situation.
found out the same situation.
Okay, so it's just kind of what it is. The other thing in regards to BDRC, I don't know if this is the appropriate time for me to kind of speak about this, but in regards to the doors, we've been talking about purchasing doors. I wasn't here, there was a meeting and some people spoke up and said that they would like to have the doors refinished, at least get an estimate, which I think is fine. However, the one thing that I wanna point out, unless you spend winter months in that building, you have no idea how cold that doorway is because you can see outside through a gap. Plus the window is a single pane window.
I
So
don't
we
think-
really would benefit, now that we have heating and cooling in there, we really would benefit from having insulated doors, at least that are more insulated, double pane windows. I mean, it's so inefficient and we can't keep that blocked off when we have people coming in and out, so we're letting a lot of heat and air out.
I don't think so, we finish those doors. I was up, last time I was up there for a public meeting and we opened them and I looked at them. I mean, it's a good concept. I'm all about refurbishing and but it would do nothing. The insulation in those doors are just big old wooden doors and it's almost a quarter inch.
Yeah, there's a
at the
gap
bottom.
around the whole
So So we did get a quote back from NJW for refinishing, that was about, well, close to 17,000.
Okay, never mind.
But the new doors will be somewhere between, Logan Glass quoted us at 12,000, NJW quoted us at 17,000, and Rosati quoted us at 18, almost 19. That's to include the doors,
Right, double
the
pane
sunburst,
replacement, yeah.
hardware, all that stuff.
And the thing is, we are not convinced, and this is me, I'm kind of speaking for Steve on this. Steve's done a lot of work on the building,
Yes.
inside in particular, and he doesn't think that those are the original doors
I
to
don't
the
think-
building.
I don't think they are either. People
So,
don't take pictures.
The transom, obviously, yes,
Is the
but the
same.
doors, he's not convinced because of, I can't remember what he said, it was the hinges or the hardware or something, but anyways, that was my 2 cents worth, so.
I agree
Yeah,
wholeheartedly.
so we'll get them replaced and.
Yes.
Okay. I
try
think
to
that would
keep
be
it
best.
like
Yes.
historically.
You think
Yeah, we do.
Well, that's what I was
Yeah.
gonna ask, are
Yeah.
they historically relevant?
They would be, so, let's see here, so they would be fiberglass doors, French fiberglass doors with a white exterior and a stained wood-looking interior.
We would have to definitely, before we did anything, we'd have to see pictures and samples.
Yeah.
We don't wanna do anything up there just based off of what somebody's telling us. You don't, I mean, I hope we're all in agreement
That's the
there.
face of Baltimore, it
Yeah,
really
it is the
Yeah.
face of Baltimore,
Yeah.
so we wanna make sure that whatever we decide to do up there, it stays.
Well, that it looks aesthetically pleasing, but also it's gonna help
Yeah.
maintain,
The
you
heat.
know, energy efficiency
Yes,
for the
yes.
building, so.
May I ask just a brief question?
Sure.
So, we got the quote, we got 4 quotes for the door replacement up there. Is that something that you want me to pursue further, or is that something that the restoration committee should pursue?
If you could get some pictures of them, I think we'd all like to see.
Well, I mean, I have
Who's on the preservation committee?
pictures that they provided for us. Nothing that you can put your hands on and see or go and look at per se, but just.
I would
you know,
want
some
really
soft pictures.
detailed pictures, and I think Debbie, I think all you guys would agree, we want it to be,
Right.
At least look like it's
yeah.
not a brand new door on an old building.
I can tell you just based on what we've seen from the Rosati work, the stained looking windowsills on the inside, they look really nice, like you would have no idea
Yeah.
that they're not wood. So just from that, that's the work that we have seen.
I would say
Um,
if we could get some more pictures from them too, that would be great.
And I don't think I have the pictures from the site, just the quote.
Okay,
Yeah.
so,
See what you can do.
But if, I would say if Steve wants to, I don't know if he wants to, but if he wants to look into doors he feels are appropriate, we would definitely look at those as well.
100%.
I mean,
He has
we've had
another-
that conversation, he's
Yeah.
aware, the one thing he definitely felt strongly about, as the rest of the board, TDRC board, is that the doors up there that are currently installed, they just don't do what they need to be doing, even security wise, if you've ever
No.
tried to,
Well, you could pull right over.
just, yeah,
Yes.
so.
Is somebody taking the sign down, jumping back from the?
Well, that, we're trying to figure out, we've gotta work with Rick on that, or Mr. Foreman, since that's on his property, and see, you know, what ends up panning out. We don't know, it's been left open that if vendors wanna talk with him, and a few vendors wanna set up, you know, to sell whatever, whenever, that's gonna between them and Mr. Foreman, or, you know,
Just,
just-
somebody asked me about it.
Yeah.
They said, "Well,
We
they
will
gonna take the sign
eventually-
down, or people
Yeah.
gonna
It
show
will
up?" And I
either
said,
be
"I don't know."
covered up
It says we're not
or
building.
removed, something, it will be updated, we just don't know what the update's
Yeah.
going to be yet.
That makes sense.
I guess we can move on to East Side Drainage, old business. We don't have anything new on old business?
We do just a little bit, so,
Okay.
we had the easements on the southern part of Old Road where that, where the drainage was placed last year, and then there's that, utilities that goes through Mr. Woods's, that has that breakup. Where we did not believe that we had easements north of there, so we reached out to V3 to ask them to go ahead and move towards getting the easements. And they found that we do have those easements. So we're ready to go with, that project once AEP has vacated the area, so.
So it's like phase 3 of phase 1?
But that's
Alright.
good news. It's not gonna cost us about $6,000 to get more easements, and we've got permission to go ahead and move forward.
All right. Oh, the one-way.
Yeah, those signs have been.
That's safety, yeah.
That's safety committee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, but it's not on there, okay.
Well, that's 'cause we took it off.
We need to leave things on until it's done.
It was, the ordinance was passed last year, that's why it's got a read.
But it's not
But
done.
it's not done.
Okay, sorry.
So.
I'm okay with the less being on there.
Less is more. New business, we have, Ball Diamond and over at Johnson Park and Summer's Choice and Granville and all that sort of stuff.
So there's a picture in front of you, of what we have or will be doing, what to do on Summer Choice Drive there by the Ball Diamond. So that great parking lot there behind Ball Diamond #1, that's already been paved. It's not been striped yet, but it will be striped at a 60-degree angle to match what we have at the other, parking lot there. What we're wanting to do is we would like to create a one-way exit out of that portion of the park onto Gordon Avenue. And then Gordon Avenue, there would be a sign posted that you cannot enter the park through Gordon. It's an exit only situation. So, the parking lot as it is now off of, at the opening of Summer's Choice, that'll stay the same. We're just talking about a traffic pattern change there that would allow an exiting from that back parking lot onto Gordon Avenue.
Now, there'd be exceptions to that, like for the holiday parade, stuff like that, but for the most part, we would, because of all the parking that we've created by doing what we're doing, it would be easier for everybody to exit the same way, traffic-wise. And I don't know if anybody's been over there, but there's also, where the shelter house is, there's a parking lane there, and there'll be an extra 42 parking spots there now, once it's painted, on the other side of the pool at the front of the park.
So that'll go. So we need to have a piece of legislation come out of service to
Yeah.
recommend, yeah, we gotta get an ordinance going from service to recommend creating a one-way alley, I guess, right, or one-way
Yeah,
traffic
like,
pattern,
yeah.
exiting, Johnston Park onto Gordon.
And so the entrance at Summer's Choice is gonna remain two-way then?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can compare that.
Okay, so,
Yeah, you need a motion.
yeah.
I move to have an ordinance going up to, have a one-way,
Exit out of-
exit out of Johnson Park onto Gordon.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Are you going to sponsor that?
I can.
Alright, so, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. So we'll, recommend that to council that, we create a one-way out of Johnson Park on Gordon.
Yeah.
I'm just asking, I'm just asking, how does the Gordon people feel about that? Do they know?
Listen, I think everything that happened over there, once it was all done, I think everybody along there, I drive that every Sunday, cause I try to drive every street. And they were sitting on their porch waving, hey, go. I think it's all good, you know, and I think everybody was happy that it's all paved now. She said something about there not being dust coming up and stuff, so I think maybe we made some friends, crazy as that sounds.
We haven't had any complaints in the office.
No,
since
not at
this
all.
happened.
Well, now that there's a sidewalk down Gordon, so the children don't have to walk in the road in order to get to the park, a one-way exit out of there is not unreasonable or unsafe.
I don't know if any of you saw the picture that somebody put on there, but it was the perfect, somebody said, did you put that picture on there? There's a picture of a handicapped kid walking in, and they were thanking us for putting the signs in.
That's what it's about.
Yes, so it worked.
Leaving it better than we found it.
Yes.
Alright. Any other new business?
Someone approached me about the ball diamonds at, Johnson Park,
Yep.
that they're not being mown.
Nope.
And this is happening, and that's happening, and they've got a big mow it, what's going on, blah, blah, and I go, you need to come to the service meeting next Monday, which would have been now.
Well, so out at Ball Park and over here, each organization is supposed to mow their
I've
own.
learned that now.
On their own. Now, with that said, I talked to Joe Pearson at school, they're gonna trim on the outfield, because it does look shabby where the fence is, and then Tim's gonna spray all the, like, so the grass doesn't grow up through the fence, but we cut where we're supposed to, and they have contracted somebody on their own to cut the insides of the diamond.
Okay,
Yes.
I didn't know, and I wasn't gonna say, so
I'm
I
not
just
saying that
told
we
them.
wouldn't do that, but that's not the way it's worked,
And they were mowed today.
where they,
And say what?
They were mowed.
Okay, she was just very.
Not by
concerned.
us, but by.
no, yeah, the school did it.
Yeah, she was very concerned that
Sure.
they've got this big to-do coming, that
Yeah.
girl ball teams are coming
Yeah.
from
Well,
everywhere.
and they're right about that, and so, you know, with the high school girls being 17-1 right now, and they're probably gonna go back to the state tournament, girls softball is taking a big upswing. In fact, I'm working with a grant out of Fairfield County. I'd like to put lights at one of those diamonds, so they could play more ball out there. No money out of the village is it, but we don't have any lights on any of those diamonds, and it would be nice if they could have that, so working on that now. But yes, that's a legitimate question, it's just not our,
Yeah, I expected them to be here tonight.
yes,
I said, you just have to ask the question, because I don't know the answer.
yes.
Anything
Okay,
else?
good deal.
Nothing else for new business? No new business? New business, all right. Anything in review, any other questions? Visitors, anything? Nope. All right, I guess the next meeting is, fourth Monday in May 26th at 6 P M.
That's question mark.
Yeah, because that's Memorial Day.
That is
No, it
Memorial
is
Day.
We're
Yeah.
not having that meeting.
All right, so, I guess it'll be in June,
Yep.
I don't know what day that is.
service in June, the next, let's look it up.
I got a question mark on all the agendas for the May
June
26th
be,
meeting.
2, 3, be the 22nd of June.
Okay, yeah, because we're not having that Memorial Day.
All right.
23rd.
23rd.
23rd?
Yeah, 22nd Sunday.
Okay, yeah,
Not- I'm not
23rd.
coming on Sunday.
Yeah, you're right,
Or
23rd.
Memorial Day.
All right, yeah, 23rd June. All right, motion to adjourn.
I have to adjourn.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. We're
Aye.
adjourned. All right. I guess we're gonna, you go on in after everybody work.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Actually,
Okay. Now, if this meeting goes quickly, then it should be.
Okay, that's fine.
How do you go on here?
What's that?
It's not on Zoom. It still will be on YouTube, the YouTube channel. That will change.
Go.
I'm just
So
sorry.
you go on the village YouTube
I'll
channel.
blame you.
It's not that I'm
Just like
not
we have
wanting-
previously. So now we can
I
understand.
hate being like.
Hopefully it should look better too.
I have to do that.
Department two is also how far away they
My
live.
wife
We're ready to go.
That's the behavior change.
There you go.
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna call safety committee meeting, need a roll call
Yeah, Phillips,
here.
Present.
Creary, Reedy.
Present?
Everybody else is here except for Rick Foreman. And can we get an approval of minutes for March 24th?
I move to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
I second it.
Do we have any visitors that want to address the safety committee?
Oh, we need a vote on that.
Oh,
All in favor?
a roll call.
That works. All in favor?
Aye. We have any visitors want to address the safety committee? 2025 goal, 0 workplace accidents. We have 2, 0 fatal accidents, 0 reports. Village administrator.
The only thing I would have to report would be the installation of cameras at the pool, and I think Chief Rogers would be better at.
So, Matt and I went over today, I've been looking at some different ones, and, I think that, if we're only talking about the building, as far as people getting into the building and doing damage in there,
Right.
then I think we could probably do that with 2 cameras, one that would cover all of the common area, if you will, and then one that handles the hallway for the bathrooms and the office door, the old office door, I should say. So we're probably talking less than $700, I guess, over two.
Is that like one of those ring things?
No, it's a Wi-Fi camera, but it
Yeah.
stores, and there's no monthly
Okay.
fees, and you can see it on your phone, and actually I just installed one for Brian's wife's business.
Good.
Down there, and, what do you think of it?
I think, the picture's really clear, you can see everything.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, that's,
Well, and Brian, don't you think we need something at the pool?
Yeah, we do, I mean,
Just don't get tired of the kids.
it's just that we've been racking our brains trying to figure out without
Right.
paying $400 a
Yeah,
month.
we don't wanna do that.
at first we didn't have internet, so that was an
Right.
issue, and, you know, with all these
Yeah, we
things,
can
so.
do this chair.
And, it'll alert my phone, at night, if there's motion in those areas, so.
And about the fences, they climb over the fences and they get in the pool and they,
You wouldn't be able to afford to camera that whole place, cause there's no electric out there.
You have to
No.
hardwire everything.
Okay.
And
Alright.
that would be
how do you
climb
know
over the
that
barbed
now
wire?
though?
unbelievably
Yeah, they do.
expensive.
Why would they?
How do you know when somebody's in,
We don't.
okay, how did I know back in '84 when I managed it?
Either,
I mean,
well,
I
most of the
got
time because they
calls.
push the lifeguard chairs in, people get there in the morning and see something done, you know what I mean?
Well, no, I would get calls in the middle of the night and I would have to go out and, you know, you'd walk around the pool and there'd be some guy in the corner, you know,
Yeah, neighbors calling, something,
Okay.
cause yeah,
I didn't know how that.
we've never had a system other than on the doors in place. The doors used to be alarmed, the doors to the building,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but we've never had anything out on the pool side, so,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
they
just,
climb over the fences, throw
yeah, I
them.
mean, I don't think there's a good way to stop
Okay,
that, short
I
of,
didn't-
like, say, a prison style security system, literally all around the fence, you know what I mean, that would be,
Or cable.
yeah, or
Leave it all
Or
work.
we could probably get a free one from somebody.
Yeah.
I'd
about-
Work on
find
that.
one.
It's a pit bull deal, right?
What about motion lights, would those be worth?
There are
We've,
motion lights.
we've
everywhere.
talked about them over, on the, like the new pavilion,
Mhm.
piece, like on the corners there, that way, at least if people went through there, they would. turn
Yeah,
on.
because at least then they'll be like.
Again, because of where we have electric, which is not hooked up yet, I don't think, but, I think it just needs to be run to the building. The building's wired, I think, but not to the building, so, and so Tim and I talked about that just the other day, when we were talking about cameras,
Okay.
so,
That's a good idea though.
Yeah.
To put on.
Yeah.
at least it would be,
Yeah,
put
something.
on the floodlights
It's
on the
scary.
building or something.
Yeah,
yeah, and then ones on the building, you know, we can look at that too, like put some on the corners, because.
and those aren't that
Something that would
expensive.
be triggered,
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
cause you
Yeah.
can set the sensitivity on
And
those.
again, they're not, you know, those are not expensive, it won't be like. Are you done?
Got anything for the police department?
So, just, it's been busy here lately, last week we had 5 canine deployments, three fines, out of the 5, 2 of those were felony amount, drugs, so, that was Canine Wins, getting real good, or, I mean, he's doing real well, because he wasn't in school for spring break, so he was on the road, so if that gives you an idea of what the summer, once he's on the road all the time. The other good news is, you know, we retired, well, we didn't, the owner retired Dallas, and, he said Dallas was too bored at home, so he's brought Dallas back out of retirement, so Dallas is back on
Good.
again, so.
That's great.
Yeah, I saw them around schools and stuff.
Yep.
visiting Kids.
So, last week we had, Hero Day down at the Methodist Church for their, for the preschool, and that went well, us and fire department, sheriff's department were there, had a lot of fun with the kids and stuff like that, so that was really good, but, and, I think that's about it. Okay.
Old business, North Street westbound table, new business, the Walnut, Mill Street.
Well, that's really old business, but I mean,
The
what's
signs are ordered.
happening, the signs are ordered, I've heard that before.
And as soon as they get here,
So just a brief history, so we passed it, I think, maybe like late September, early October. There was a mix-up in communication, and by mix-up, I didn't communicate it to Tim. So by the time we realized that we didn't know, it was like mid-November, and we didn't wanna try to change anything before the holidays. So then after the new year, then we had all the water main breaks.
14
and-
water main breaks.
And it just, getting pushed back, but I do know that those were ordered this week,
Last week,
last week.
that's because he ordered ones.
Because you
Up
ordered,
behind
yes, because we have
hardware
another
store,
sign,
yeah.
another truck entrance sign there on
Yeah.
the, this is out
Yeah,
there.
we heard
Yes, yeah. He made it sound like they'd be here next week.
I did not hear from him,
Yeah.
when they'll be in.
Well, there.
They should be in shortly.
Yes.
Okay, that's number one. Number two, I have been approached about the skeletons, that they are just skeletons and now they're not decorated for the holidays. What do we do?
Listen, we can tell him, that he's gotta decorate them, and he'll go out there and he'll put a firecracker on them, and it'll be over.
I know, but
I don't know
someone
how
approached
we-
me.
I know, and I agree, I don't know what we can do about it.
I don't know.
I don't think we
You can't tell people, you can't give people things.
You have to say it again.
No, but this,
There is something,
Well, it's
there is.
not, it's not rubbish.
no, but the decorations have to be appropriate for the season. Somewhere we've had that
Look-
conversation.
Well, look and see what it says in our code.
But then it's gonna go right
And then
to,
they have
they're
to
gonna
go
go
back.
they're gonna hang something minimal.
Yeah.
I mean, you're
I
always gonna
know.
get around it, I mean, I get what you're saying, but I think
I,
they're
when
gonna
the month after I got
hang a
elected,
bow
the meeting
that's
there, I
red, white,
stopped
blue.
and asked him, what do we gotta do? And he said, the village did something to make him mad, and the skeletons were never coming back. He said, okay.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's probably made him follow a rule or something.
I do have one more thing for you.
Yes.
Before we move on. Real quickly, so I had a conversation with someone, they live at the corner, in the northwest corner of Jefferson and South Main. It's where that hydrant is, and I know in the past that hydrant was hit years ago. So, and this is probably for you, Chief, on that corner, that hydrant is so close to 158. Do you think it should have concrete posts or something protecting it? I mean, it's maybe it's close to that, and it's right on that curve so if you're heading south on 158, it's right on that
Like
corner.
Pickens House?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just look at it.
Yeah.
But do we
It's
need-
been hit previously and they fixed.
What did you say you wanted, do we need a what?
Concrete post, something just to protect that
I would think that we should.
fire hydrant.
I think we could put a couple concrete
Because,
posts in there.
because in the past, she was telling me the ordeal when it was previously hit, the
Yeah.
water main was broken, it snapped down several feet into the ground. The water line had, it burst, and so then the water went all the way down into all of those backyards. It was a major issue. 2 houses had their basements flooded, and they were never compensated, not that it needed to happen. It was an Amazon driver that hit it.
Right.
But a lot of damage was done. So to maybe be proactive,
Yeah, we should go look at that Wednesday. Yep.
that was it.
Yeah, and I can't imagine it being that big of a deal to sink maybe 2 on each side or something.
Just
I think it's the
something.
people pulling off of Jefferson on 158.
Yeah.
Number one,
Yeah.
it's a bad intersection to see.
It is, yes.
And they're peeling out there to get out and probably taking the corner too close.
Yeah, and Pickens have been hit so many times.
Oh, yeah,
There and
100%,
on
yes.
that, and I believe that a big part of that is also village right of way, where that gravel is.
Yeah,
And that fire hydrant just seems like it isn't.
yeah. We'll look at it. That's
That
a
was it.
reason-
That's all I
That's a
wanted to bring up.
reasonable request.
Any other new business? All right, next meeting will be June 23rd, immediately following the service committee, call for an adjournment.
I moved to adjourn.
Second?
Aye.
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 I'm just seeing it stretch.
So are we?
I got it.
Are we
I knew where you were going.
streaming right now?
We are.
Go ahead.
Some of us are old
Get a roll call, please.
Cosgray,
Present?
Foreman is absent. McCreary,
Here.
Phillips,
Here.
Reading,
Here.
Chopper.
President,
Okay, could we get approval or motion to approve the minutes from March tenth, April 14th?
What we need to do, we didn't do it separately.
Separately, the first one's for March 10th.
I can't remember, it just got omitted on the last, 2 weeks ago's meeting, I thought we had passed this, that's when I went back to my minutes. We haven't passed it. So,
Make a motion to approve the agenda of March tenth, yes.
The minutes.
minutes.
Minutes, I'm sorry.
I will second that.
Do we need to vote on that, Brian?
Yeah.
Can I get a roll call on that, please?
Reading,
Yes.
Chopper,
Yes.
Cosgray,
Yes.
McCreary,
Abstain.
Phillips.
I'm not sure I was here.
You were absent.
Oh, well, we can't pass them again.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so let's go to April 14th. If I could get a motion to pass April 14th minutes.
Make a motion to pass April 14th minutes.
McCreary seconds.
Can I get a roll call on that, Brian?
Reading,
Yes.
McCreary,
Yes.
Cosgray,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Chopper.
Yes.
Okay. Motion passed. Can I get approval of the agenda this evening?
McCreary moves to approve the agenda as written.
Chopper, second.
Can I get a roll call on that?
McCreary,
Yes.
Chopper,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Cosgray.
Yes.
Reading,
Yes.
Okay, let's go right into the visitors. You have a visitors list, Brian?
yeah, first up is John Daft.
Okay.
Hi, I'm John Dapp. I've been helping the township some, and they have asked me to attend your meetings as a liaison and report back to them as to the ongoings.
Sure.
Just wanted to say hi, so I will be here, plugging y'all for agendas and reporting back to the township.
Perfect.
Which township?
Liberty Township.
Liberty, or pardon?
Upping Township is what?
I'm just their reporter,
Oh,
their liaison.
That's okay.
Don't ask me any questions, I don't know the answers. I'm just here to report the facts.
No worries. Perfect. Thank you for letting us know who you are. I appreciate that.
Thanks for your time.
You're welcome.
Brian Hosher.
Mr. Hosher.
You're up, sir. I didn't know I was second. Thank you very much. Just basically wanted to check in, see if we had anything resolution on that alley issue.
We do not. We are reached out to our attorney has reached out to the engineering department to see where we are at with easements and stuff like that. And I would say probably by the next meeting, we will have.
So I guess the other question I would have, it's not illegal to park in an alley?
Nope.
You can park there then?
Well, it can, but based on the situation of where things are, we're waiting to see if council is gonna be able to do something by this meeting before we just upset all the apple cart.
Okay, that's all, the only thing.
We
that's
are
all-
working on it, yes.
Okay, that's the only thing I wanted to see.
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Any other visitors on the street?
Nope, that's it.
All right, well, we'll go into reports. And I think we covered everything that I was going to. If any of you get a chance, drive by, Johnson's Park, cause that extra lane and the pavement, once it's painted, and then Tim, we cut the parking lot in, we use the grindings from, the street that we paved to do that, so it's kinda nice. So there's lots of parking, and they trimmed some of the trees, so that's all coming along. I was a little later than I was gonna be, cause I purposely came down Basel, cause I got started at that's encouraging. So and that's something to talk about, but to see things moving along there, that's very nice. And actually from here, from this point on, we'll turn it over to the village administrator.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add from service and nothing to add from my report unless there's any questions.
The only other thing I would say is, we did have another big water break yesterday, which was, up on Rome Street, and it was a pretty, it was a deep hole, had to put a ladder to get down in that hole, and they were there for 4 hours, but, it's not if you wanna show that they were flushing the hydrants and stuff that's coming out of, we've gotta do something about the water lines, it's just.
And that was a break at a place that had formerly been a break.
Right.
So,
I'm just saying, that's why I'm gonna bring it up. Every meeting that we have is about the water, so, but we're working on that too. Mr. Fiscal Officer, do you have anything?
Yes, I'm gonna ask council for a brief executive session at the conclusion of regular session to discuss details regarding security arrangements and emergency response protocols for the village. Everyone in attendance, including council, the solicitor, police chief, and the VA.
Thank you. Okay, well, let's, do you have anything for us, Mr. Solicitor?
I do, just a couple quick comments. No first readings of legislation on the agenda, no third readings. One piece of legislation on for a second reading, that needs to go to a third reading because that, we have to have a public hearing on that, which will take place shortly before the third reading. Several tabled ordinances, I'll just give a brief summary on those. The first one can remain tabled, 2024-23. That's the home occupation one. That's still in discussions with planning and zoning. The second ordinance that's tabled is 2025-01, which is an ordinance authorizing the VA to enter into an agreement with Safe Build Ohio LLC for residential building department. That needs to be untabled and considered for passage this evening by council because we're running into deadlines that are being imposed by the state of Ohio. Hey, you guys have to take some action on this or otherwise we'll file an action to terminate your building, which they have the authority to do.
Which we don't want to happen.
They brought that up previously, quite a while ago, but they did bring that up. The second ordinance, or the next ordinance after that, 2025-02, is a related ordinance. If council passes 2025-01, then I would recommend that you also pass 2025-02 because that's an updated schedule of fees that was requested by Safeco. And so it cleans up our fee schedule that's set forth in our codified ordinance. And then the last ordinance that's tabled, 2025-03, should remain tabled. That's the ordinance to amend the landscaping provisions of the planning and zoning code. That has to do with the tree commission and their request for updates, and that is still being discussed by planning and zoning, and they've asked for more information from the tree commission on that. And lastly, the Liberty Township trustees have asked for a joint meeting between them and village council, and it's scheduled for next week, May the 6th at 6 p.m. at the Liberty Township hall, or meeting hall, I guess it's still I'm not sure what it's called. And it's a joint meeting to discuss economic development. All of council is welcome to attend that. It probably will result in an executive session, which is appropriate for economic development. But again, all of council is invited to attend that. That's all I have.
Okay, let's go to the village council committee reports. First one being finance.
Yes, Mayor, we did not meet tonight, and our next meeting is for May 12th at 6 p.m.
Service.
Service did meet tonight, and we got some pretty good information on all of the 5-year plans and what's going on with the well, the loans, the wastewater treatment plant, and council, or the committee is setting up an ordinance to make one-way out of the Johnson Park softball field on Gordon, sponsored by Ms. Lipshaw. Next meeting will be probably Juneteenth and
June
18th.
23rd.
Yeah, June 19th.
No, June 23rd.
23rd. Oh, no, 23rd. Yeah, that's right. 23rd. I was. Too bad it couldn't be Juneteenth. Anyway, anyway, June 23rd, 1800, next meeting.
Okay, safety.
Safety net, not much on the agenda. Next meeting, June 23rd, immediately following service.
Okay, so rules.
Rules, did not meet tonight, and our next meeting is May 12th, 6:30, or immediately following this.
And, police department, do you have anything else to add to what we were talking about earlier?
The only thing I do have, I forgot about, we did, during the building of the, disc golf course out there, it came, well, the employee came across a trail cam, that somebody been hunting
In the park.
in the park, in the woods there. We did, confiscate the camera, luckily the person was on the video, or on the camera, so, we got with ODNR, and they, did charge them with the appropriate charges for that, so that's just one other thing.
He was on the camera.
Yeah, like putting corn around and,
Okay.
no, and hunting as well with a weapon. At the park, at the public park. Yeah.
We actually found another one that, later, and, but there's no evidence of hunting was taking place, but,
The first one there was.
the first one there was. Now, you can only imagine that, you know, people could say that they, just like to watch the deer, and that's where they, you know, whatever, but we've got that camera too, but they haven't come looking for it yet, so. It's GPS enabled, and it's sitting in my office, so they're welcome to come.
All right, do we have anything from Basil Joint Fire Department, Fire Board?
Oh, no,
Did you just say Basil?
He did.
Boswell's
I
not
saw him
very
pause
good.
every time.
Sorry.
So no one else has said anything.
I just moved here.
We met, on I'm getting rid of this thing, sorry. Well, the next meeting is on Juneteenth, for Boswell Camp Fire, 19th. There's nothing really to report from the fire board, council.
Okay. All right, let's go to village committees and commissions. Planning and Zoning Commission.
Our next meeting is, May 8th at 7 p.m.
Yes, sir. Tree Commission, really, there's not much to report on that, other than the fact that we're working with them. I think there's some grant money that's gonna help us take down a couple extra trees that we're not gonna have to pay to take down, which is nice. Records Commission, Ryan?
No report.
Nothing to report. Ms. Schaffner,
Bicentennial, the, events that are taking place
22nd.
next month, but nothing else happening, well, obviously, in April. So for May, there is another lecture series on May 4th at 1 o'clock at the Victoria Opera House. It's Jim Reed.
so what is the date on that?
May 4th, which is Sunday.
What time is that?
1 o'clock. So he will be doing a history about the Ohio Indiana Canal. And then on May 13th at 2 o'clock, the Baltimore Branch Library is doing a history of the Baltimore Branch Library. And they will actually have people tour the Gradley Memorial Library as well, or the Gradley House rather, as well. So that's all that's going on.
What is that?
May 13th for the history of the Baltimore Branch
I
Library.
was wrong. Boswell Joint Fire is May 22nd. June is June. I'm like, don't even know what month it is.
That's all right.
So as, the mayor pointed out, they did start work on the park. I think they poured the concrete
Yeah,
today.
they did,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we'll be working on that here in the next month before the June 22nd, our dedication being June 22nd. I do think, I can't promise anything about this, but I think that depending, we still have a few things that we need to purchase, particularly maybe some landscaping, at the park, and also some sort of not a memorial, but a plaque, recognizing sponsors, not, like the benches and picnic tables, they will have the sponsors already on them. But as far as
I think a sign is a good idea.
as far as the gazebo is concerned. But anyway, what pertains to this council is that depending on how much all that costs, I believe that the village will get all of its money back.
Great job, Debbie.
And maybe even some extra.
Great job.
Not tons extra, but maybe some
Great
extra.
job on that.
Because we haven't even started, well, we don't even have any houses for the Heritage Tour yet, but we will. And there'll be an admission charge for that, so.
Great job, that's awesome.
So I think
But I
I-
will tell you this,
I
if you
can't-
want some landscaping, do it, cause I mean, you gotta buy extra flowers, I mean, cause when you start to see something come together like that is, you kinda make, I
Yeah.
mean,
You want it finished.
And the
Yeah.
museum, they wanna put a plaque, I think, on the old firehouse, kind
Yeah.
of commemorating that as
it's a good idea.
you know, historic
Yeah.
and what it was used for.
Good idea.
So, that's kinda where we are right now.
Can I add a little something? Just, so yesterday, we honored Arbor Day at Bicentennial Park, so a buckeye tree was planted and a proclamation was read. So the tree is a really nice looking tree, it's a sapling right now, but it's gonna look really nice as it matures, so. And I know William McCreary was out there measuring for the bricks and all that.
Buckeye tree.
Yeah. So, I just wanted to kind of throw that in there, it's coming together.
Yeah, it is.
All that cement around the flagpole's been pulled out,
Yeah.
so it's pretty much ready to put the,
Those guys they made quickness of their work, whoever went in there and did that.
yeah.
And they did it cleanly and they
Yeah,
didn't
it
tear a
looks
bunch of
very
stuff.
nice, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll go to motions. First readings, there are none.
No, we gotta go back to motion.
Brian's request.
Oh, we're gonna go into executive session, excuse me, Brian, I apologize.
I need a motion to go into executive session.
I make a motion to go in an executive session to discuss,
To discuss details regarding security management and emergency response protocols for the village.
that.
I second that.
She said that.
And everyone in
And
attendance?
everybody, yes.
Okay.
Do we have to vote on that?
Yes.
Take a vote on that?
Yes. Schopner?
Yes.
McCreary?
Yes.
Cosgrave?
Yes.
Reedy?
Yes.
Phillips?
Yes.
I need a second motion too.
Okay.
During the service and safety, they canceled their meetings. Don't we need a motion to cancel? We need a motion to cancel the June 20th.
Oh, yeah.
I make a motion now to
May
cancel.
Or May 26th, sorry.
Unless you all
May
wanna come in on.
26th, council meeting.
I'll second that.
Can we get a vote on that, please?
Okay, Reedy?
Yes.
McCreary?
Yes.
Cosgrave?
Yes.
Phillips?
Yes.
Schopner?
Yes. Do we need to make the motions here for the table ordinances, or can we wait till the table?
We have to have our executive session and then go back and do that, right?
No, this is
Okay.
this is next.
Oh, okay,
You don't have to
sorry.
motion it now. You do that when.
When it comes to.
Okay.
Now we're ready for ordinances and resolutions.
Now we're, okay. All right, so the first reading, there is none. This is the second, reading of ordinance number 25-15. Ordinance to rezone 100 Baltimore Somerset Road, a 75.551 acre parcel, currently known as the parcel number 06700000400, to Village Single Family Residence District R3 and the declaration of an emergency, but we're not, this is just a second reading, we're gonna go to a third reading.
Because we have to have a public hearing.
We're
which
having a
would
public
be-
hearing, yes.
Which would be, is scheduled for May the 12th at 6:45.
Here, right?
Here.
Yes,
15 minutes before council meeting.
yes.
Who's responsible?
All right.
Was that?
Rick,
Foreman.
Mr. Foreman, yes. Third readings are none. So the next tabled ordinance, we can leave table, ordinance 24-23, an ordinance to amend chapter 1272-06, planning and zoning code of general development standards of home occupations of the Baltimore codified ordinances. Ms. Schaffner is the sponsor. That's going back to what Jeff explained to the other committee to talk about. So the next two, we have to untable these.
Who's the sponsor?
McCreary on both of them.
Okay.
So we can get these approved, only because we're running out of time with the state.
Okay, so you may have to walk me through this a little bit, so first I wanna move to untable ordinance 2025-01.
Second.
We need to vote on that?
Yes.
Okay.
Any discussion? We don't have to discuss it for untabling.
No, I felt like Jeff kind of explained why we're doing this, is because we.
I
we
just don't
have
wanna
a
go
bo-
through discussion.
Yeah, we wanna have a building, we wanna do this
Oh,
because
yeah,
it's,
I agree.
because the housing is coming.
Okay. So we're not taking a vote on the untable.
Yes.
Okay. McCreary,
Yes.
Cosgrove,
Yes.
Schaffner,
Yes.
Phillips.
Yeah.
Reed.
Yes.
Okay, now, I would like to move to adopt. Is that where we are with this?
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to move to adopt 2025-01. Again, this has to do with the agreement with Safe Build.
Schaffner, second.
Question. Did we go through two readings before?
I thought we did.
My recollection is that we did, and then, so then this would be the third reading.
Right.
Okay, it's been so long.
It is,
So-
yeah.
We do not have to do it.
It would be very unusual for us
To
to
table,
table.
yeah, yeah, we wouldn't have.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
uh,
So McCreary,
I mean, prior to the second reading, I should say.
who seconded it?
Ms. Shaw.
I did.
Okay. So this is a motion to adopt, any discussion?
Nope.
All right, McCreary?
Well, yeah, I'm sorry, I
sorry,
do
go ahead.
have discussion. So, we've talked about this for a long time, but I'm having some sort of blank spot as to why it's languished.
So it's languished for a couple of reasons. The first was because there was recommendation that we look at an individual that is retired. He then came in and met with us, he said he couldn't do it, and then referred somebody else, and before we went and interviewed them, I just brought to council our concerns in the office that one part-time person, that their lack of availability, especially with all of the development that's coming, that it would be a service care issue, as well as a concern that if we don't have any help in the office, it becomes an administrative paperwork problem.
Nightmare.
Whereas Safe Built has both, a wide range of access to local contractors who are licensed and approved by them and the state. And they also help us with their online, program called Community Core that helps streamline the communication as well as submitting process. So then at that point, brought that back, and then there was also a question, this may have been before, about not just building inspection, but also, someone who could overview like, preliminary plans in accordance with our zoning laws. So like, things like, we've got a house that was approved, come to find out, it sits way higher than it should and creates I&I problems that we already have. So we went back to Safe Built and asked them if the current contract that we got agreement with them covered that service, and it did not. So then we met with their team again, and so this new agreement would provide for us, zoning, help with the zoning, and approval process, as well as then building inspection.
And the cost of this?
The cost of this is an hourly cost that's outlined in the agreement. We collect all the fees. I think our goal would be just to be that we would break even on it if we can. So the thing that sped this up is we got an email from the Department of Building, I always forget this wrong. No, well, specifically the Department of Building Standards, and their statement is, basically, we've been patient long enough, and the higher ups instructed the person we've been working with to say, if don't pass something tonight, they will begin the process of revoking our building department.
Yeah, we don't want that, just because with everything we've got going on.
And they have been,
Very patient.
they have been really patient with us, so I do wanna make a note of that.
My question though, for that whole process, you said we'll just barely break even. Why aren't they why isn't the people that are getting inspected paying?
So all the inspections will have a fee with it.
Right,
So they're
why don't we
gonna
up
be-
those?
And we are upping those with this piece of, with the.
With the next piece of
With the next
legislation.
piece of legislation.
Oh,
That's
so
the
sorry.
next one.
Nope, that's okay. So they'll charge us, the village, an hourly rate, and what we're hoping to do is, through the fees, to be able to pay for this
Correct,
service.
all right.
But in terms of man hours and operation, it sounds like it's gonna be much more efficient, because that's all they're going to do.
That's it, and that's it.
So I think that
Yes.
that
So
sounds like a
The
Sounds like
village
definite
adminis-
win.
so the village administrator and Lipopolis have
That's what I was gonna
had
ask about,
multiple
Lipopolis.
conversations with her. She said she absolutely loves it. She's able to process all the paperwork with the building stuff, and they've got building stuff going on over there too. So, she said also to consider her a resource if I'd ever wanna come over, like when we first start, she could walk me through, they'll walk us through the
Nice.
process, but I'll have somebody who kind of from my side of the table, knowing how to work with them. And if we don't like them,
Yeah, we'll fire.
we can fire them and go with somebody else.
Okay. Okay, now that was the end of our discussion.
Okay. Roll call then, McCreary,
Yes.
Schaffner,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Cosgrave,
Yes.
Reed.
Yes,
Okay, I'm gonna read the next ordinance, and what it is to increase the fees to cover this. So it is ordinance 2502, ordinance to amend the chapter 140803 Building and Housing Code, Residential Code, schedules of fees of the Baltimore codified ordinances, and the declaration of an emergency. It's not really an emergency now, because we're getting the third reading, but
It just means it goes in effect right away.
yes, we just need it to go into effect right away. The sponsor of this bill is also Ms. McCreary.
So I would like to move to untable 2025-02.
Second.
Discussion on that? Good vote on that?
McCreary,
Yes.
Cosgrave,
Yes.
Reed,
yes.
Gorman, I mean, he's not here, Phillips,
Yes.
Schaffner.
Yes.
Okay.
We need a motion to adopt.
Okay, so I would like to move to adopt ordinance 2025-02. Does this need to be in declaration of an emergency?
It,
or-
the language is already there, so it's in
Yeah.
effect.
Okay.
Seconds,
Cosgrave second.
You get a vote on that?
Discussion.
Discussion, I'm sorry.
These are the updates that we were referring to.
Okay. McCreary,
Yes.
Cosgrave,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Schaffner.
Yes.
Okay. The last one is another table ordinance 2503, ordinance to amend chapter 127208, planning and zoning code of the general development standards of landscaping of the Baltimore codified ordinances, which we are taking to the planning and zoning for them to go over that with the tree commission. So that's it. Any old business? Any new businesses where we go into,
No, new business, they can discuss now, and then.
any new business?
And this would be at the very end of
Okay.
regular business, executive session. In case visitors have a final comment or question, that's because we have to excuse them.
Yep. And any visitors like to have anything else to say?
No.
With that, it's last call.
No, you know, last call.
All right. Thank you for everyone coming.
Not bad.
Oh, we're gonna go into executive session at 7:30.
Still Brian and
Okay, we're returning
yeah.
at 7:43,
May 12th, yes. May 12th at 7 PM.
returning at 7:43,
And lights on.
or 7:45, whatever, okay, 7:43.
Okay. Next meeting will be held Monday, May 12th at 7 PM. I have a motion to adjourn.
I have a last comment. I heard a very loud noise today, it scared the devil out of me, and it sounded like, something hit my window. And when I looked out at the window, there was a bullet hole in my, storm window. I don't think anybody shot, but I looked out to see if I could see kids maybe that might have had, I don't know, BB gun or something. And Mr. Peck was out mowing, but he was clear down, and, I mean, it seemed like it was way too far to do that.
I was just gonna ask for somebody to mow it, cause we get that 4 or 5 times
It's on
a
the
year.
other side of his driveway, if you know,
Yeah.
like there's the alley that is.
Oh, I believe it. I
Mower
believe it.
control.
We get that, like say, 3 or 4 times a year maybe. We've had it twice this year already, we just started mowing, so if that's the third, then that's
I
the
looked to
third
see
step.
if I could find if anything was on the windowsill, like a rock or a bullet or anything.
Yeah, that would be, if you had a rock,
But I
you'd be
couldn't,
set.
there wasn't anything there.
If somebody would've shot a, well, not a BB gun,
It
but a
probably
regular
gone
gun,
through.
well, not only that, but we would've got calls on that, cause it's so loud.
Well, that's
We always
true.
get calls when.
Yeah.
I got a quick question. People not mowing their lawn.
The letters are going out this week, listen,
Thank you.
they are going out this week. and-
413 East Market, or West Market. She's got a riding mower in her back. It looks like a dead elephant, but it's got, it wasn't covered up all winter, and now it's covered up.
Yeah, no, he's sending letters out. We drove around and looked at
So
them last week.
last week when the mayor and I were driving
Yeah,
around,
we
we saw,
made a
we were
list.
gonna give everybody this one last weekend before we sent out letters.
Yeah, it's right down here on the left.
So,
Yes, sir. I know what you're talking
is that
about.
before the bridge?
Oh, right, it's right down here. It's before you get to the farmhouse cafe, or no, after the
Just after the
farmhouse.
farmhouse.
Yeah, and there's actually 2 houses.
Yeah, they're one on the
Yeah, I think
corner.
somebody was there mowing.
Corner of the alley, and then the middle house, she used to be,
I think they were mowing.
I don't know, something with the VFW for a while.
He's got a list. The worst is right up here on the corner of, what is it, 178 and, what's the house, what's the road that Tremont?
Elmwood,
Elmwood, yeah,
I think
Elmwood.
there's nobody, there's good
No.
people.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
where I told Matt, he gotta find out who owns it.
Don't forget the dead end street too.
We need to do that.
Can I ask another question?
No.
Is there anything we
I
can
know
do
what he's
about
talking about.
junk on porches?
Yeah.
Is there anything we can do about junk on porches?
Yes.
Yeah, we're sending letters
Yeah,
out on that.
send me an address, I can look at it.
But what if your junk isn't their junk? What,
That's
do you have to
where you
agree
get
upon
into
what
it.
junk is? I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, that's what I was like.
Hey,
Well, I know, that's
boxes.
junk on that porch, you know.
Well, they cleaned it up over there on Liberty in Washington. There's
I was
nothing
gonna
like it.
ask,
Yeah.
did they move or
No.
did they get served
No,
a note?
he sent a
Yeah,
letter.
we're about ready.
Okay, thanks,
Soon as they
I was
adjourn.
going to ask that.
Okay.
Looks a lot
Said that,
nicer.
'cause that, and
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
They could just do it.
it's now gone, so I'm like, oh, it's a lot better.
All right, so do I have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
I second.
All in favor of
I need to
adjourning?
sign.
I,
Do it.
Whoa, who made what?
I motion to
Motion.
adjourn.
second, we adjourned.
We adjourned, we took
We
a
all
vote.
said aye.
Okay.
All right, now we can kill it then.
Running out the door now.
We're good.
Yeah, just email me.
So,
Matt, is there someone that lives actually, this would be probably, the old, speakeasy?
Yeah, we're done.
Is there someone who lives in that